definitely not a Jew. On the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline Leeds, Alabama. A 43-year-old man was charged with public lewdness, resisting arrest, and criminal mischief after he ran his Chevy pickup truck into a light pole and then stripped naked and jumped into the Bass Pro Shop Aquarium! Definitely not a Jew!
Wow, that's a leader in the clubhouse. Chef Gruel here. Mayhem is going to do some news. Andrew Gruel's Family Cookbook is the name of the book. And, you know, something I looked down on my list. I got one more thing for you, Gruel. Because you're a guy, you run a business, and the kitchen, it's all about efficiency. It's like sort of flow and movement and what works, what doesn't work. And I'm that way, too. I'm very like, if you go to the back of this warehouse, you'll see that this wall, when it hits the other wall, is not a 90. It's dog-eared. It's broken because I want the flow. I don't like a sharp corner come around the corner. You don't see it gets dented when people are like vacuuming or whatever. I'll do a 90 just to get, because I want the flow, man. And I'm at the fantastic Sam's in Glendale, get my hair cut. And this has happened to me a few times. At some point, they get the little clippers out, but they don't have cordless ones. They plug in. And they plug into the like little area where their drawer is and stuff. And the cord is like 5 feet long. And it's plugged in, and they bring the cord around. The cord smacks me in the face, you know. And then they bring the cord around the other side. It gets caught in my ear, and they start pulling on it. And then they pull the cord out, and they bring it around again, and it whacks me in the face again. And it gets caught. And I go, they have cordless clippers, right? And they go, the woman, she goes, yes, but I don't have the right, fitting on, I don't have the right 29-cent plastic thing that goes on the end, and they go, okay, but couldn't we just go to Home Depot and get a 6-foot extension cord, and then it would just sit on the cord would be on the ground instead of wrapped around my head, like smacking me in the head when you're trying to do the back of my neck. And she's like, it's okay. And I'm like, listen, I don't care. I don't work here. I'm fine. But for you, that the cord that's pulled taut because it's like 5 feet away, plugged in the wall, and I'm sitting back on the chair, and it's smacking me in the head.
You could stop going to Supercuts.
Fantastic, Sam's. But yeah. But isn't there... It's so fixable. You know how fixable this is? And by the way, she's probably on year 14 of smacking people in the head with this cord. And I'm like, I'm not a prude. I'm not an asshole. I'm just trying to help you get a little more flow in your business here.
When I go into restaurants for consulting jobs, they'll say, our labor cost is so high, et cetera, and we're not getting the food out in time. First thing I'll do is I'll sit and I'll watch during service and I'll count steps. And 90% of the problems can be fixed because to put one dish out, somebody's taking 100 steps back and forth. And the first thing I do is move all the ingredients to the same place. 89 less steps because now they're all right there.
Right.
That's how. It's just there's a container. Oh, I got to grab that. I got to get this. I got to put this in here. I got to do this, and they do it 100 times over. Simple. Go get the extension cord. That's my Sam's Club. What is it? Sam's Club?
Fantastic Sam's.
Fantastic Sam's.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a cord. First off, they're ubiquitous, and they're $4. And you can go. Amazon will drop one off tomorrow morning. Like, just go get the stupid cord.
The same way, if you just move all the ingredients to one dish in the same place, then you don't have to reach over and take 1,000 different steps.
Hey, but how about throwing a right hand with no hiccup in the middle? You know what I mean? This wins fights. Martial arts all about efficiency. I don't need the guy taking a step and then throwing the right hand, and that quarter of a second is gone, and you get punched before you can hit him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And actually, I'll combine mine and yours because I would be able to solve a lot of problems with guests if they took one less step, but also one forward to knock the guest out.
Nice.
So, there you go.
You always want to get them when they're coming in with their tray of food, and then you're right there.
Yeah.
The new greeter at the restaurant, Mayhem Miller.
Welcome to the restaurant. Gah! Left hook.
What do we got?
All right, first up in the news, we got the EPA Chief Lee Zeldin to kill a car feature that everyone hates. You know the one, Ace.
I knew
Everyone
it.
knows
I knew it when I heard the beginning of the story. It's like the engine kill.
Yeah, the engine kill, that will be stopped. They are taking that away. He says EPA approved it and everyone hates it, so we're fixing it.
I researched this years ago because it bothered me. So the engine dying, shut off at the intersection it gives anxiety to any poor person over the age of 45 because we had cars that died. You know what I mean? There's like, ho, we got to keep it going. Bad starter, bump start, pushing it, dead battery. I've been in a lot of like feathering that throttle at the stop. Like, we got to keep it. You got to keep the revs up. Otherwise, if we stall, we're screwed. It ain't starting again. So when it dies, even in a modern car, I have a moment of old anxiety.
A quiet, cold sweat,
yes,
followed by resignation that I'm going to have to push this thing off the road.
But I did research it, and it said it saves a lot of gas. But it seemed counterintuitive because when you're idling, it's just dripping. Like, it's very slow usage of gas when you're just idling. Like, you're not burning a lot of fuel, but evidently shutting off over the course of the life of the car adds up into X amount of fuel savings. So it basically falls under the heading of there's a whole bunch of stuff you could do to save fuel, but then how much of that is a hassle? Like you
But
could,
when I was really poor, I would turn the car off.
you would?
Yes, so I
At
had
a
already
light?
done this. Yeah, I remember this as a kid, rolling up to the thing, and man, I can't afford to sit here at this long red light and turning it off. So I was way ahead of the game.
The guys who never shut their cars are cops.
Yeah.
They'll leave that car running, just sitting in a parking lot or by the side of the road. It's always on, which, by the way, is a very good example of when it's not your gas, this is how you roll. When it's your gas, you shut the thing off, or maintenance as well. I'm with you. I would like to get rid of the engine shut off. I'd like to get rid of the no seatbelt bong chime thing that drives me nuts as well. Actually, here's what I want out of cars. You ready? I want the no engine shut off, delete, good, get rid of that. I want the seatbelt chime. I want 30 seconds grace period when I start the car to put the seatbelt on before it starts annoying me. I just want it. I want to start the car, turn the heater on, put the defroster on, whatever, and then I'll put my seatbelt on and give me 30 seconds to put it on. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in my driveway. I'm not at high speeds. I'm not on the highway. I can't get anywhere in 30 seconds. It's dangerous. I just got in the car. It's been stopped overnight. And the thing that nobody talks about, and it's been discussed, and now Dawson's going to have to look it up a little bit because there's versions of this, but I still don't think it's in full effect. If somebody said to me, I'm selling you a luxury car, and listen, everyone's got the seat warmers and the coolers and the lumbar support and everyone's got all the bells and the whistles and the presets and all that shit. That's all fine. Our car has a fan system that moves air and will turn the air conditioning on. And the next time you're in Van Nuys, parked at the Costco for 4 hours out on the blacktop in July, when you get back in that car with the black interior, it's going to be 70 degrees, not 114 degrees. It'll stay cool inside the car. And they were talking about, did Tesla have it?
Yep, dog mode.
None of them will spin the air, will actually do air conditioning, though. They'll vent it, I think. Now, we're going to have to check because it's been 10 years. But here's what I'm saying. You can take a car, you can park it on blacktop, San Fernando Valley, middle of July, 114 degrees outside. And even if it's circulated and vented, it's still going to be in the high 90s.
Yeah.
Or something. You can't cool it.
Sauna
You can
box.
just... You can try to diminish it a little, but I'm talking about cold air. I'm talking about firing up the air conditioning pump. If it's an electric car has an electric air conditioning pump. It doesn't run off a crank like an internal combustion car does because there is no crank.
Well, I've never used it, but I believe that Tesla has a dog mode where you run the air conditioning in there. I could be wrong, but
All right.
I'm pretty sure that's a feature. I know that the remote start cars, that's why the cops are always running the engine, because they're wearing all that equipment, wearing a bulletproof and all that. But they need it chilly in there.
But also, I don't want to have to download the app and set myself a timer to remind myself to put the thing on or whatever. It's like, it's simple. When the car gets over 85 degrees, that shit kicks on. Mm-hmm. I don't want to program it. I don't want to do it with my phone. I don't want the app. If it's parked and locked and it gets over 85, I want it to kick on. That's all.
I'll tweet Elon about it.
Tweet Elon.
All right, next up, mom slammed for openly breastfeeding a child in a restaurant. Sheesh, cover up, people say.
You have this, Chef Gruel?
Yeah, I've seen this photo. My issue isn't with the breastfeeding in a restaurant. It's the fact that that kid's about to enter the 3rd grade.
He's playing pee-wee football.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I took my mom to the smokehouse for brunch on Sunday, Mother's Day, and there was a woman walking right around the buffet, and she was breastfeeding a child right in front of the omelet station.
Nice. Did you ask for a sip? Squirt for your coffee?
Was there a sneeze guard?
Was there a splash guard?
All of the dishes have a guard over them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
kind of individual.
Dawson's drinking a vodka on the rocks. She's like, you want to make that a White Russian? All right. Here's my back to the dogs, back to society. I don't breastfeeding fine. I like people to be a little discreet. Just in general, I like a little built-in discretion. Now, like breastfeeding should never be illegal, and talking on the phone shouldn't be illegal, but you yelling loud into a speakerphone conversation at the table next to me, I don't want to hear that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this will fall under the heading of decorum. Mm-hmm. You know, just a little, let's not burden other people with you.
Just a blanket.
Yeah,
I mean, my wife did it all the time with all 4 kids.
Yeah,
a blanket, a nice
I
covered
know.
up. You
And
wouldn't know.
People do a lot of like, well, why should I have to? I don't know. Why do they put doors on bathroom stalls? I don't know. Yeah, you could shit without the door, and okay, we all do it. It's natural, and so why should I feel shame or what? I don't know. We just like it that way, and that's the way we did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a little, and someone who gets really uptight about it, I'm not going to fight for that person either. I'm just saying you should try to go through your life affecting other people the least amount possible in every situation. And I include aggressive nose piercings with that, which is, if I got to see another 26-year-old bitch with a big hoop hanging out of the frenulum, I just stare at it and go, God, was that hard? Is that painful?
The hoops don't bother me. It's the sharp things.
Yeah, the sharp things.
sharp
bother.
ones.
And when does that ever get hooked? Or does that get caught on something? Or what if... And now I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's my point. I don't want to think about
In my
you.
experience, just pubes.
Just pubes? That's the only thing that gets caught on?
It's very 70s of you.
So, I don't know why it's a big... She had an ample bosom.
She did.
Which I think caused some
why
of
it was
it.
offensive. It was like pornographic a bit, especially with the old kid there sucking that down.
But let me tell you why it's offensive. Because somebody who posted this was clearly in her party, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff is done for outrage.
Yeah,
Do you
rage
really
bait,
think
rage bait.
like no? I guarantee you, most of the people probably at that event or whatever it was, the buffet, they had decorum. And they couldn't have cared less, and they didn't want to post about it. But somebody within you, because the person's sitting across from them.
Well, there needs to be a little built-in sort of, like everyone should have a built-in timer, right? Which is like, you know when there's a really long line at the rental car checkout and somebody's just up there and it's like, Jesus Christ, it's been 15 minutes you're talking about.
Yep.
And then at some point they give them the keys and the paperwork and they take like 2 steps back and then they turn around and they walk back and they go, is there a Color Me Mine anywhere in town? And then the person gets the thing out, well, let's see. Okay, here we're at the airport. You're like, bitch, move it on. Move it the fuck on. There's 26 people standing here. Really? Really? I was doing premium check-in or whatever, and I was flying back from Florida, and there was like a family there. It was like the woman and the daughter, and they're just standing. There's like 2 windows, a line of 14 people, and the one woman just never moved. She just never moved because she was waiting for her husband to come with the luggage.
Oh.
And I was like, this is the luggage check-in line.
Oh.
If you don't have the luggage, bitch, just step out.
Yeah.
Step out. And by the way, the person behind the counter needs to go, excuse me, stand right there. When your husband shows up with the luggage, if he ever does, when he does, then we can come back and deal with it. But for now, we have a bunch of people in line. Like, you need to have the internal clock.
Courtesy.
It's like a little clock.
I see.
You know, it used to be at the ATM when you're spending too much time there. They got people behind you. There's people. They're other human beings.
I do it at the urinal. I'll even cut off midstream because I'm like, my time's got. I feel bad. My
Good for
internal
you.
clock.
Good
you know.
for you. Yeah.
Pinch that thing off.
So
Yep.
you have to have a little internal clock, and then you also have a kind of a situational awareness. Like, I'm talking too loud, or I'm cutting in front of people, or look, I'm breastfeeding, but maybe Dawson and his mom don't want to wait in the line at the omelet bar with me feeding. Like, and also, there's always an easy fix, which is, I'll just sit here and breastfeed my child, and then when I'm done, I'll get up and I'll get in the buffet line.
It was interesting, though, that my instinct was just look away and move on.
Right.
Put it behind. I've never seen that before.
No, and it's part of the never seen a dog on a plane prior to 15 years ago. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit we've never seen people punching cops and throwing water bottles at cops and stuff, but now we do because it's just here. It's a new world order, which is not progress in my world.
And when I say breastfeeding, I mean her breast was out.
Really?
The baby was, there was no cover.
I think that's the new way, though. I think that's the new way.
I gotta say this, too. As stated, when I was doing my shows in Florida, and the super drunk chick sitting in the very front row up against the stage was talking and yapping and loud and causing a disruption and everything. And, I said to her husband from the stage, I went, hey, man, you got to police this shit. He's like, it's not my job. And I go, it is your job. Your wife's drunk. She's causing a commotion. I'm not doing. People have to police.
Yeah.
When you go out to dinner or you go out to the buffet with your wife and she's breastfeeding, first argument. My first thing is leave the fucking kid at home with the dog. The dog will take care of the kid. The kid will take care of the dog. Get a sitter, whatever. But all right,
tried that.
We're bringing the kid. Okay. When the wife pulls the titty out and then gets out the table and starts walking, you as the husband need to like grab her shoulder and go, hey, why don't we let's just do this here.
Yep.
And then I'll tell you what do you want from the buffet? I'll get it for you. Just hang out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be some intercouple policing going on, which we've done away with as well.
Marriage is just a constant board meeting, so you're right.
Right.
It's like, hey, you know what? They don't need pepperoni over there at the buffet. Okay,
Right.
leave the bologna over here.
That's right. That's right. All right.
All right, next up, Pete Rose is reinstated to the Baseball Hall of Fame, or eligible, and it's got fans in an uproar.
I don't really get what one has to do with the other in terms of it's not a morality tale. It's just whatever you did on the baseball diamond. And I'll keep going with it. I mean, OJ giving his Heisman back or whatever. I don't really like that world. My feeling is in this snapshot in time, in 1969, OJ was the best running back or the best college football player. Thus, he was presented a trophy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what would happen in 1969. In 1994, tried to cut his ex-wife's head off. But it still doesn't nullify. I still got game film of him running all over Stanford. So just leave it. And then we will think of OJ as the guy who won the Heisman Trophy and cut his wife's head off. Because I got enough room. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got enough room for that. And whatever you did outside of the diamond, that's not to do. We're trying to tally hits. Baseball is one big statistical machine, right? Like the big red machine. They want hits, they want at-bats, they want everything. On-base percentage. Once those numbers become surplus to requirement for you getting into the Hall of Fame, then you're in. I don't really care what you did outside of that. Because it's called the Baseball Hall of Fame, not the Good Dude Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me sniff.
This is emblematic of everything, though.
Right.
Is that we're taking into consideration all the other interpersonal elements and all the soft stuff in order to judge what somebody's doing specifically within that job, right? Like, oh, well, that person created the best buildings in the world, but did you know what he said on X?
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. Henry Ford was anti-Semitic, and then also Henry Ford built B-29 bombers and pounded Europe and the Nazis into submission. So, fine. I got room. I did both. Okay. We have Norm Macdonald's O.J. Espy joke? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I do remember that one, but I can't remember it. But I love Norm.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? Huh? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off.
Oh, they don't like it. What? No, he didn't. It's funny. Yeah, so I've always been, look, and then, okay, there's two things I don't abide by. One is whatever you do off the field, that's whatever you did off the field. You were retired. We're basing this on your playing days. So that's it. He goes into the Hall of Fame. For me. Then the other thing they'll do to everybody is they'll go, well, it wasn't so much that he gambled, but he lied. Yeah, well, that's what people do when you accuse them of shit that are going to keep them out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Everyone lies. They always do this in criminal whatever. It's like the real problem is him lying about it. Like, everyone lied. It wasn't that you cheated. It was that you lied. Oh, really? Because that's what everyone who cheats does.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do think it's more about the cheating, honey. But either way, he's dead. Been gone for not even a year.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him. I don't need to morally defend him. He has the most hits in baseball. So, also, if you're going to have a Hall of Fame and you don't have the guy who got the most hits in your sport in the Hall of Fame, then what kind of Hall of Fame is this?
Yeah.
This is my. If you're going to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and you got Janet Jackson in it, then is this a Rock and Roll Hall of Is this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I would argue it's not.
Now, as I understand, he was never accused of throwing a game or, was he?
Well, what they do all the time is they go, then at some point they go, well, I gambled on baseball, but I didn't gamble on the Reds or Phillies or whatever team he was managing, And my thing is like, yeah, why you should be able to gamble on baseball or football or anything you want. You shouldn't be allowed to throw a game.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, what do you do? Like, do you just let a pitcher stay in longer than they should, or have some right-handed pitcher against a left-handed lineup or something? I mean, I bet you could shave tenths, but you're not really going to prevent your guys from hitting home runs. I mean, how much jurisdiction do you have over a baseball game? Like, you're not telling your pitcher to throw balls. You can shave, maybe. I mean, and maybe that's all it takes. I mean, if your team explodes with offense, like you just have three guys in a row hit dingers or whatever happens when they score 13 runs, right? You don't have any control over that. It'd be weird if you sat down a guy who had a hot bat who wasn't injured. People would take notice of that, I'm guessing. I don't know, Dawson. Look it up. Like, what is the gambling in general? Don't care. Gambling on baseball, don't care. Nobody should care. It's only if you attempted to throw a game.
Well, let me tell you, in the UFC, they sat us down and told us, do not bet on fighting. Do not. We'll go have a walk and a talk with you.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't like the optics of it.
Nah, I guess not. No.
Your own fight or other
And then-
people's fights?
Yes.
Yes, other people.
In general,
Or
yeah.
both,
They were
period.
like, yeah, because, well, when you're an insider in thing, you know what I mean? You know some stuff. So,
Yeah, but here's the problem with the people that know some stuff. They can't pick stocks. They can't pick Super Bowl winners. And they can't pick UFC fights
Yeah,
either.
exactly.
Nobody. There's a one. I don't know why a field of expertise doesn't help you. Every year the Super Bowl comes around, all the guys who know everything about football prognosticate and they give their pick, and half of them are wrong every single time, which is weird. I don't want to live in that world, but they do it at the track too. Like nobody. I mean, I guess it's the beauty of sports, right? I feel like you should be able to bet on yourself in the UFC.
should be, right?
Now you can't bet on your opponent because you could take a dive.
Of course.
But betting on yourself, in most states with legalized sports betting, wagering by an athlete directly or through a third party in any MMA match put on by a promoter or affiliate is illegal and may result in criminal sanction. Again, Pete Rose can bet on other teams, but he shouldn't be able to bet on his team because he could affect that. And you should be able to bet on yourself to win, but not to lose.
Here's the rule directly from Major League Baseball. Any player, umpire, or club or league official or employee who shall bet any sum whatsoever upon any baseball game in connection with which the bettor has no duty to perform shall be declared ineligible for 1 year. Isn't that what Pete Rose did?
Yeah, I mean, the real question is did he bet on his team when he was managing his team? Also, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, you can
but
try to look
yeah.
it up. I don't know. But here's the other thing. But let me explain what's really going on. Betting when he was eliminated or made ineligible for the baseball, he has only admitted to betting on his own team.
Now, the second rule is any
To
player.
win. Oh, okay. All right. You got to add that word.
Now, if you're
at the
caught,
end.
if you're caught betting on a game that you have a duty to perform in, you're permanently ineligible. So, Major League Baseball must have decided that they believe Pete Rose.
I got it. Right. Well, either way, I'll explain what the answer is. Betting on Pete Rose betting on his team to win, I don't care about. His team's trying to win, and he's doing the best job he can. Mayhem Miller betting on himself to win. He's betting on himself to win. You can't take a dive when you're betting on yourself. So I don't care about that mathematically.
Yep.
But here's the real thing. He was eliminated or whatever did I think in 1989 because I was researching it. And people forget that our relationship with gambling and betting was completely and utterly different, not in 89, even in 2010. Like, I think when you would give your sports, like if you were on a sports show 10 years ago and you gave your picks, you couldn't even work the spread in, which is insane. So then you're on like a sports show and the sports show guy's like, well, I'm going to take the 11-1 Steelers against the 0-42 Bengals for the win. Okay. At home. Yeah. Okay. But what about giving away 17 points? Now it takes some prognosticating. You just take a team that's heavily favored because they're unbeaten. You're taking the Patriots in the middle of a 14-year-old. They're playing Cleveland at home. You know what I mean? This Cleveland's usually their second. You're taking the Patriots for the win. All right, Bob, who do you like? I like the Patriots too. Yeah, do you like the Patriots in giving away 17 points, though? That's the prognostication. And so all there were rules. No given points. No talking about it. No saying if I were a betting man. It was all forbidden. Everything was forbidden. No spreads. No anything. Well, now they're all sponsored by gambling companies.
Yep.
It's all 100%. Here's the VIG who is take them against this. Look for this. Look for the points. Take the points. Take the over-under on the... They're all just saying the quiet part out loud now. There's a completely and utterly different relationship because Bet Online is sponsoring the segment of ESPN picks and pops, and I'm going to give away the points. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home. I'll take the over-under. I'm not going to, I'm going under on the over-under. Like, it's all gambling because somebody at some point just went, oh, fuck it.
Yep.
We're here. That's all these people do anyway. The only reason they're watching is gambling. Let's get paid. Let's just do it. So it was, if you said in 1989 on, let's just say you're on Inside the NFL in 1989, and you were sitting there and you're like, well, I'll take the Chiefs over the Bengals because they're a 3-point dog, and I don't think they're going to be able to. They'd yell cut. They just yell cut and go, you can't. Just say like the Chiefs over the Bengals, where there's no talk about points or spreads or over-unders or anything, right? So when Pete Rose got
cultural, or was that just legal, or what was going on back then?
It's like what we did with breastfeeding at the buffet. Like, it just wasn't accepted, and now it is. Or what we did with pot. Yeah. Got guys toking out, lighting up, smoking out, whatever. You used to go hide behind the dumpster and blow it into your sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Now it's people. This is dogs on a plane. It's just out. It just is. It's kind of a look. People want to gamble. We want to make money off of people who want to gamble. ESPN wants us to pay them for the commercials of the people who want to gamble. What are we doing here? What's the charade? You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're down at the sports book. Why are we giving all the money to Caesars? They're going there anyway. Let's just take their money here, And ESPN, and by the way, there's no moral outrage. ESPN will pay you, and then you'll give whatever moral outrage you had is gone the second we write you a check, right? So when Pete Rose is gambling, it's a completely different America. It's like, we don't talk about gambling, we don't do gambling, we don't disallow, we frown on gambling. Now it's ubiquitous, and that's all anyone does. So I don't believe he'd be penalized, and there wouldn't be the moral outrage. Yeah.
I think some of the moral outrage is dissipated, and that's the reason that this has gone on, because now everybody does what he did right on their phone.
Right. Yeah. But my son gambles on the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last up, Erik and Lyle Menendez are now eligible for parole, and a judge resentences them. Yeah. Today, 35 years later, I am deeply ashamed of who I was, Lyle told the court after the judge's decision. A California parole board, will now decide if the men are suitable for release.
I was laughing because I was doing a radio show yesterday, Conway Jr.'s radio show, and I was picturing, they went in like 90, whenever Pete Rose got thrown out of baseball. It's about the time the 91, whatever that was.
Yeah.
But I was laughing to myself because they've been in for like 30-something years. And when you're in prison, they got to teach you a trade or skill or something, learn how to do something.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it'd be funny if they got out, like, would you get training in VCR repair? Oh, I got bad news. Why? I'm about 30 years working on a trade. I think I could take one of those things apart blindfold, clean the heads, and put it right back together again. Yeah. Okay. Lyle, what do you got? Typewriter repair. Oh, boy. Okay. I have to get you a job at Gruel's Kitchen.
We'll hire.
Yeah. All right. Now, the question is, who fucks them first? Who's the first? Who's the first chick? There's going to be some housewife of Beverly Hills or somebody, former Baywatch cast member, like some aging starlet's going to have to swoop in. Right?
I didn't do a full research into them, but I'd be surprised they don't have like conjugal visit wives sort of
one of them,
already.
I think one of them's married, but I don't know if the other one's married.
I thought the other one was a little bit,
He's using the yellow bandana.
Yeah, in the backside.
You know what
pocket.
I miss?
Yeah.
I miss lighting the loafers.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it just meant gay, but it doesn't make sense.
Lighting the loafers, putting from the rough.
Little sugar in his gas tank.
Yeah. There's going to be Dancing with the Stars. There's going to be Masked Singer offers.
Oh, wow.
It's all going to be out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a non-stop offering.
What do
right?
you mean? I've been trying to book him this whole time.
Oh, Garagos will get him.
All right, good.
He'll get him. Yeah, big brother. It's all gonna be there. But I don't know. Is one of them married or both of them married? And I don't mind. Let me tell you my policy about guys marrying people in prison and women marrying people in prison. It's the same one I have with the Florida school teachers that fuck their students. I don't like it when they're hotter than my girlfriend. You know what I mean? I don't like to go, Jesus Christ, that guy's in prison. He's pulling better tail than I am. That guy's 14 and in Dade County. What? I didn't get anything that looked like that when I was 14, much less 22. No, I don't like that. I don't mind when they're pigs. I'm just like, all right, yeah, knock yourself out, crazy lady. Erik and Lyle Menendez have wives, Tammy and Rebecca. And so they're both.
Yeah.
Right now,
Exactly.
I don't think it lasts.
No, definitely not.
Where are those pictures taken?
They take them in the joint.
prison, but
And that's just a set background?
It's in a Sears.
That's what I was going to say. There's like the lightning bolts there.
Yeah, they give you. They're not total animals. They don't put you in front of a stainless steel toilet that has a sink built into it.
I was hoping maybe the yard or something.
no, that's a visiting room.
That's a yearbook photo right there.
Yeah, it's a prom shot.
One's got hair, the other doesn't. Do we want to talk about that?
yeah.
I think is it Lyle?
Lyle, yeah. On the
Is
left
Lyle
there.
the bald one?
Yes,
His wife looks like him,
does a bit.
which always worries me.
No, it looks like Whitmer. She looks
Gretchen
like Gretchen
Whitmer.
Whitmer.
Yeah. Well, maybe she'll get busy fucking up a state and not have time for their marriage.
Well, he can do all the murdering.
I think that they're going to break up.
Yeah,
I think the prison.
That's a shake-up.
Yeah. And it also, let's see, they go, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and familiarity breeds contempt. Those are the two I would use.
Yeah.
Which is, they're having fantasy relationships with a guy who's not around. Wait till they walk into the bathroom after he destroyed it on a Sunday morning and start dry heaving. That's when the reality kicks in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So, 3 of the, where you been?
Yeah.
3 of those, and it's all.
Yeah.
It's over. Where are you going?
Yeah, I told you. I didn't meet with the producers of Dancing with the Stars. How many times I got to say it?
Can I see your phone for a sec?
You know what? I got better treatment in the joint.
Yeah.
You know that?
Exactly.
You know what? The guards were kinder to me than you.
They didn't ask for
and
my
by the way,
password.
speaking of the joint, the food was better than the fucking slop you're making, bitch. Now I went out of here. Mark Garagos going to represent me. Well, they got to start thinking because they're in, I don't know when they got married, but here's the thing. They are going to be looking at some pretty big paydays. There's going to be the first interview. Like, I talked to Garagos about it. Like, I was like, what are we talking about here? We're not talking about hundreds of thousands. And we're not talking about 2 million. It's up.
So who, like 2020 or, like...
Yeah, somebody's cutting a check for the exclusive, which is a thing.
Okay.
It's a common thing. Like when Leno caught on fire, I was talking to him at a thing, and I was like, Jay, why don't you come on the podcast and let's talk about you catching on fire? And he was like, I got to talk to Time Magazine. First, I got to talk. I'm contractually obligated to talk to these people first because they paid for the story. Wow. And then they'll come in. They're not doing news. They want like an exclusive. Well, they say they're doing it. It's not the kind of thing they advertise.
Yeah.
We pay for, but they pay for.
Yeah, it's not like Larry Parker.
Right. He's advertising.
Yeah.
He pays. 2020 or whomever, CBS News does not want to advertise that they pay people to sit down with them, but there is going to be a payday for these two. And then once they get the exclusive and once they get the payday, then they'll come on this show because they'll, no longer contractually obligated. At least that's what I would assume. That's how it's going to play out. That's how they get paid. They don't get paid to come on here, spill their guts, and then go on to ABC. Yeah. All right. So They're going to get paid. And I would argue get divorced before you get out of the joint, because at some point you're going to come out, there's going to be $5 million, and now it ain't $5 million, it's 2.5 because she can lay claim to 2.5.
Always thinking ahead, Carolla.
Yeah, I would say that. Lyle Menendez married Rebecca. Oh, they're broken up as of last year. See, once he knew he was getting out, he had to talk to Garagos, and Garagos like, I think I have you out of here in less than a year. Okay, good. By the way, speaking of attorneys, good divorce one. So they're broken
still
up.
Gonna get half of his ramen noodles.
Erik has been married since '99 in the waiting room of Folsom State Prison. Tammy later stated our wedding cake was a Twinkie.
Fresh out of the commissary.
Yeah. Or maybe that's just some kind of gay code that I'm unaware of.
Yeah.
Either way. All right. So one already got the preemptive divorce. It's a weird angle. It's a weird angle if you want to get divorced and you've been in prison for 30 years, because you can't work that angle where you'd go, look, I'm not asking for a divorce, just a little time apart. Let's just take a break. Yeah, you've been a hole for 30 years, so I would think that would constitute that. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to be overwhelming for them when they get with the women. And also, there are going to be so many women throwing themselves at the Menendez brothers, because women are just fucked up that way.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to throw themselves at them. There's going to be a line of women trying to have sex with these guys.
Oh, yeah. DaddyIssues.com. It's on. People are signing up.
It is on. All right. I'm going to be in Bellflower doing stand-up, and that'll be May 24th, doing 2 shows. I think the first show is sold out, but there's still some for the second. Tacoma, Washington, Tacoma Comedy Club, doing stand-up there May 30th and 31st. There's 2 shows there. Early show's probably going, but maybe some late show action there. Chef Gruel, the book, Andrew Gruel's Family Cookbook. I recommend it highly. Mayhem, any plugs?
Yeah, but I'm teaching at the Magnus Summit in New Jersey. Cherry Hill. I don't know. Look
Cherry Hill, New Jersey?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I used to live there when I was a kid.
The hell?
Yeah.
What a quinky dink.
Well, you'll see the plaque when you pull into town.
Nice.
So, until next time, I'm Carolla for Chef Gruel and Mayhem saying, Mahala.